Okay, wonderful. Okay, so recapping one more time, just for the folks who are going to catch the recording later, we'll try to work into the upper thoracic, the calves, and just kind of get into it a little bit more. We all have a couple of blocks and a blanket. And I think let us begin on our backs today. Go ahead and I think on the back, if you have your blanket just laid out, you don't want anything too, you don't want to roll it up and make it too dramatic for your back, but just lay it out just so that there's just a little bit of elevation. And as you come on down, just notice where it might feel like just a slight gentle opening of the front of the chest. And you might keep your knees bent, and even if you want to straighten them before you let them go long, lift the tailbone and feel a little bit of a tuck there so that you can get all that length in the low back out. And then if you want to extend them long, you can. You could also bring the soles of the feet together with the knees open wide. And one thing I really love to do with this shape in Supta Baddha Konasana is, even though the stretch might feel nice to open up, just placing a block underneath the knees for a little bit more support. Maybe you play around with a couple of different variations here to see which suits you best. Maybe the arms can come out wide to a T, open the palms up, and just allow the opening along the front of your chest to expand. And just get yourself here as heavy as possible, allowing the bones to become dense and heavy. Begin to draw yourself into the practice with 3 very intentional and on purpose breaths right here just for you. Slowly breathing in through the nose, filling all the way up, expanding your ribs and your chest. And open the mouth. Just let it all go with a big sigh. And again, 2 more just like that. Big, slow breath in. Fill all the way up. And open the mouth. Let everything go. And begin to allow the body to breathe naturally. Begin cultivating warm-hearted feelings. Sending this little bit of loving kindness inward toward yourself. Imagine a world where every person radiates kindness, compassion, and patience for one another. Jealousy, spite, and frustration just don't exist. In Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, this teaches us that liberation is found through that connection to the divine, achieved only by surrendering to the universal blissful love that we innately possess of ourselves, casting out that jealousy, spite, and frustration. When we practice loving kindness to ourselves, we can share it outwardly with all beings more easily. This is the result of awakening the divine love within. Whatever that divinity means to you, higher power, universal truth, God, all-knowing being, spirit of the universe. Let it take one more big, expansive breath deep inside and through you. Begin to let the breath become a steady stream of letting love in and sending love out. And if you can take that a little further as you draw the breath inward, cultivating that loving kindness, allowing this ease to rest upon your heart and your bones. And then the exhale, sending it outward into maybe your immediate community, your family. Perhaps it goes out even further to your outer circle, your acquaintances, co-workers maybe. Drawing love in with the inhale. And expanding that love out with the exhale, perhaps further than you can even imagine, to the ends of the earth and beyond. What would it feel like if you could walk in this grace through your day-to-day? What would it look like? How would it feel? Take one more deep breath here. Ignite the heart as you slowly begin to use your exhale to draw the hands onto your belly and slide them down toward your thighs, closing the legs as if they were a book. Hug the knees toward your chest. Notice if the hips begin to lift off of the mat to account for that gentle lift of the blanket underneath you. Feel its softness still wrapping you as you rock gently side to side. And eventually curl yourself up onto your favorite side, pausing there for a moment. And whatever is showing up right here in this moment, let it wrap you as well. And press your hands into the floor to begin lifting up onto your hands and your knees. Go ahead and untuck your toes as you line yourself up here, creating this agreement of yourself, your heart, your breath with the mat. Wrists, shoulders, elbows in line with each other, knees right underneath the hips. Dig all 10 fingertips into the mat. Feel this ignite all the way through your body. And begin to exhale, tuck and round as you draw the chin toward the chest. Lift the back of the heart up toward the sky. Full breath in, start to sink the heart between the shoulders, tip the tailbone up, lift the gaze toward the sky. And exhale, tuck and round. Keep moving here with your own breath. Take the full length of your breath to make your way from one shape to the next. Infusing each bit with your presence, your love. And if you stay right here between these two shapes, that's wonderful. If you'd like to invite some organic movement in along the way, please feel free. Take the next 5 or so rounds of breath. Still moving with the rhythm of your own heart, your own breath in and out. Steady stream, love in and love and kindness out. On your way back into a nice neutral spine, let's go ahead and tuck the toes under here. Feel the muscles of your arms specifically wrap around the bones as each fingertip digs into the earth. The low belly cinches in toward the spine, lengthening down through the low back and the waist. And notice if you're dropping your head here, can you lift the chin in line with the throat, perhaps shifting your gaze toward the front edge of your mat. And here we are, everything stays the same. We can just hover the knees off of the mat a couple of inches. Notice everything else that turns on. Keep the breath steady. Feel the warmth start to glow in your belly. Try to unclench the jaw. Keep everything steady. As you slowly press into the hands, rock the hips back. Take it into downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk it out here, bending into your knees. One at a time. Feeling especially that heel as you press it into the floor. Feel the length of all of the muscles along the back of that leg. Lifting up into the glute muscles on that side. And switch to the other leg. Again, just watching that stretch of muscle all the way up the calf, along the hamstrings. Come into stillness, come high onto your toes, roll the body forward. Coming back to that hovering table, knees slowly land just a couple of inches into space above the mat. Lengthen out through the spine. Feel that the collarbones and the breastbone is actually lifting and lengthening toward the front of the room. So this, feel the long line of your waist. Breathe in. And exhale, hips back, downward facing dog again. Walking it out. How can you infuse this next wave forward with just a little bit more kindness and compassion toward yourself? And if that looks like bringing the knees all the way down to the earth, let it be. As you use the breath, inhale, come high onto the toes, roll forward. Almost finding a cat spine, bending the knees to hover them, or resting them all the way down. Breathe in for length. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's walk the hands back to the feet here. Take as many little steps with the hands as you like. Heel toe the feet about hip distance apart or even wider if that feels better in your low back and your hips. Ragdoll as you like, filling the trunk out of your waist and out of your hips. You can grab hold of opposite elbows, let the head be heavy, and sway gently from side to side. Can you let your head be 10% heavier? Can you close your eyes and notice the distinct stretch from side to side as you wrap over toward that left and then sway and wrap over toward that right. Come on, back to center. Release your fingertips to the earth. Heel toe your feet together if you'd like. Inhale for 3 flat backs with the breath. Inhale, fingertips to your shins or your thighs or maybe even the floor. Exhale, soften the knees and fold in. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Like that turtle coming out of his shell to look and take a peek around. Exhale, fold it in. Your weight comes heavy into your heels as you bend into the knees. Start to come all the way up to stand. Stacking knees over ankles, hips over knees, shoulders up over your hips. Fingertips resting down by your sides. And feel yourself stacking here. The muscles wrapping around the bones and the heels rooting down into the earth as the heart in the center of your body lifts, supported by that lift of the waist and the low belly drawing in. Come back into that steady stream of breath, fully in, fully out, loving in, loving out. One more breath. Begin to flutter the eyes open, and as you take your next breath in, sweep the hands up overhead. Exhale, fold as you hinge at the hips, come all the way down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Moving with the breath, take the whole inhale to rise up to stand, hands up overhead. And here we'll take an exhale, elbows wide, finding a gentle cactus here. Shoulders rolling back and away from the ears. And let's just take the chin over to the left shoulder. Try not to move your shoulders at all or your hips. Feel this lift of the heart. And if you can, now we're going to wrap the hands, left hand behind, right hand in front. Try to keep pressing that left hip forward. Take a deep inhale, shoulders relaxing away from the ears. And exhale, release, hands out wide, come back to your cactus. Chin moving over to the right, same thing over here. Inhale for length. And exhale, wrap the hands into the twist. Again, that right hip pressing its way forward to keep level. Inhale, lifting out through the crown of the head. And exhale to unwind. Hands come back into that cactus shape. Breathe it in. Maybe you take a gentle back bend. Lengthen down through the tailbone. As you exhale, hands come behind your hips. Maybe you interlace the fingers as you open through the chest. Be mindful not to flare out into the ribs or like stick out the booty here. You want to keep lengthening down through the tail and so that the ribs can cinch forward. So the chest is really doing the opening here. Sometimes that feels a little, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but just different if you're used to letting the spine do all the work here. So take what you need, a couple of breaths to settle in and really feel what is activating here. And use an inhale to lift just the chest. And exhale, bend at the knees, fold forward. The hands can stay resting on your hips, or you can reach them up toward the sky, whichever one feels better for you. Allowing this melt forward. Slowly release your hands, let them swim toward the earth, and walk your hands out to plank pose. Same long line of agreement here, from the crown of your head all the way down to the heels of your feet. Even if you have the knees down, there's still this lift of the low belly. Breathing in. And let's exhale, come all the way down, belly to the mat. Untuck your toes as you inhale, low, medium, or high cobra. You choose. I would say low, especially if you're working on finding more strength in the spine and the back muscles. And take another breath wherever you are. Exhale, slowly come down. Press the hips back to the heels, child's pose. Take a big breath here, expanding in 360 degrees around your heart. Open your mouth, big sigh, let everything go. Inhale, lifting yourself up to your table again. And let's tuck the right toes under, press that heel back. And so the toes are still tucked under here, and you can just take a few rocks back and forth here, allowing that stretch even more so in the long line of your calf. And begin to stay right here if you like, or lift the toes off of the mat. Extend the left hand out in front of you. Keep dialing those right toes down. A lot of bodies, similar to mine, like to open here and kind of hike up to feel like I have more height, but really it's not allowing the length. See if you can look straight out toward your left fingertips. Keep pressing through the right, breathe in. And as you exhale, round, elbow to knee under the belly button. Inhale to expand. Left hand down. And drop the right toes. And here, we're gonna lift the left knee off the mat, round here. Lowering the left knee down. Left hand forward, right foot back. Exhale, round it in. Inhale, reach it out long. Left hand down, right toes down. And hug that left knee toward your nose. Taking it one more time with your own breath. And then we'll bring that right knee back in line with the left. Maybe rock the hips side to side. And switching sides here. Left toes tuck under, rock the hips back. Still feeling that presence of yourself, your intention, your heart, and every facet of movement here. Lifting the left toes up, extend the right hand out. Dialing your left toes down, making sure not to dip too much into the low back. Still pressing through that left hand all the way up through the arm. Exhale, round elbow and knee underneath the heart. Inhale to expand. And drop the right hand, drop the left toes. Hug that right knee, pressing into both hands, really finding that cat arch in the upper back. Lower it down and lift it out. Round it in. Reach it out. Drop it in and hug it in. One more round. Really beautiful job, nice and slow. Both knees down. Let's take a couple rounds of cat and cow here. And here we're gonna do that awesome thoracic thing that Jill did in class yesterday. And then we'll get moving again on our feet. So come down onto your right elbow, forearm. Hips stay level. Take your left hand, place it behind your head. And notice you're kind of where that right hand needs to be, wherever it needs to be to support you here. And open it up. Even if you can't open it up straight up to the sky, that's okay. Keep the hips level. And exhale, round left elbow to the right elbow. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale to round. Inhale, one more up. And round it down. Releasing both hands to the mat. Let's sweep the right hand to the sky. Exhale, thread the needle. So your right temple, right ear come to the mat. Option to balance or amplify this shape at all in your body if that feels good. Sometimes I like to send my left leg long to create a little element of balance here. You can float the toes up or keep them on the earth. Last breath. Steady the focus of the mind. Exactly where you are as you slowly, with control, drop that knee down. Press into the left hand, open the right hand up. And round it back down. Left forearm down, again, diagonal or straight out. The elbow is right underneath your shoulder, and the right hand comes to the back of your head. Start to stack the shoulders open, and exhale, cross that right elbow toward the left elbow. Inhale, open it up. Exhale to cross under. Last one to open it. And let's cross it under. Releasing, press that right hand into the earth, sweep the left hand up. And exhale, round it into, thread it under. Same options apply here. Maybe you extend your right leg long, finding a little bit of balance play. Keep the breath steady. Keep the heart true. As you slowly, with control, return both knees to the mat. Releasing, opening the left side up. And exhale, both hands down. Let's take it to downward facing dog. Notice how you feel. Notice the sensations in your body. Notice if it feels like you are creating a little bit more space to then infuse with your own love, your own compassion, your own loving kindness. Take one more inhale. Open the mouth, let everything go. Inhale, sweep the right leg high. Press out through the heel. Press evenly still into both hands. See if you can get that heel a little higher. And exhale, round it forward. Notice this shape. We did this before. Shoulders are up and over the wrists. Plant that right foot down underneath your right knee. Inhale, come on up, high crescent lunge. Breathing here. That back heel is still lifted and charged with supporting you from behind. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. And as you take your next inhale, maybe straighten both legs, check your balance. And as you exhale, bend into both knees, elbows bend out wide. Left knee can come all the way down or to a simple, like a hover. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale again, all the way or halfway down. Inhale up. Last one you choose, we're gonna hang out here, so choose wisely. We'll take a twist here. Left hand to the outside of that right knee, right hand to the back of your sacrum. Pressing the palm into the back of your sacrum to keep yourself nice and level. Lift out through the crown of the head and then roll that shoulder back. Keep pressing actively into your right foot. Lengthening down through the tailbone. You should feel a nice stretch, some sensation along the front of your left thigh. Maybe the chin is just hovering over that right shoulder. And exhale, release both hands, frame the front foot. Step back to plank pose. And lower as you like. Maybe chaturanga is feeling super available to you right now. Maybe you come all the way down for cobra for more gentle love toward yourself. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Breathing fully in. Maybe open the mouth, let it all go. Left side, inhale. Pressing into both hands, pressing out through that left heel. Use your slow controlled exhale to round forward, knee toward the nose. Been here before, nothing needs to move. I mean, unless you help it with your hand along the way, but just try to just hover that left foot right underneath the knee. And then press down through both feet to rise up. Arms to the sky, or you can always have them on your hips, especially if you are working on continuing that sort of accountability for yourself and your alignment here. Wherever you are, take a deep breath in. Maybe straighten that front leg. Exhale, cactus the arms, bend into both knees. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more lift. And one more lower, hanging out here. If you're hovering, more power to you. Use that low belly, draw it in and up to support this lift here. Be lighter on your feet, your Mula Bandha, drawing in and up. And then we'll take a twist. If you're hovering, bring that knee down. Right hand to the outside of your left leg, left hand behind your sacrum. So this twist could look just like this with your hands, just like when we were standing earlier. It could look like a deeper twist. Turning the right shoulder forward and the left one back. It could be anywhere in between. Keep breathing. Can you feel the ears slightly lift up and back? Yes, beautiful. Creating more line of space. Last inhale. Exhale, unwind, both hands frame your front foot. Stepping back to plank. And lowering as you like. Downward facing dog, we will all meet you there. Breathe fully in. Open the mouth, let everything go. Inhale, right leg high. Bend your knee and open the hip here as you start to stack the hips. Keep trying to keep your shoulders are square to the mat here. So there's a gentle twist happening in your hips. And you might stay right here. Maybe rolling the ankle or the knee. You might shift forward, coming to the outside edge of your left foot and floating the right foot up. And so the option here, you can have your right hand and your right foot up, sort of in this floating wild thing shape. You can also drop that right foot down. Keep the breath steady and kind of allow the shape to transform however it will for you. We'll slowly come back to a center, three-legged dog, right leg high. And exhale, step the right foot through. Inhale, rise up, high crescent lunge. Exhale again, elbows wide, hover the back knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, spin the back heel down. Drop it into your warrior two. Feeling the mind steady, focused as it moves you into this really strong, beautiful shape. Where is your focus? Where is your heart in space? Can you deepen the bend of your front knee just a tiny bit more? And if not, that's also okay. These are just questions we ask ourselves in these strong shapes. Maybe we can draw that knee over to the right just slightly, feeling that right glute turning on. Yeah. Flip the front palm and reverse your warrior. Go ahead and straighten the front knee to feel more length here, more power rising up all through that right side. Feel the expansion of your heart. And exhale, cartwheel it all the way down. Keep both hands down here. And heel toe them to the inside of your right foot. Right foot starts to walk out to the outside. And you might have that foot kind of angled out at about 45 degrees. Coming into lizard here. You have all the options in the world, especially if you've been in this class with me before. I like to lower my knee and reach back with my right hand for a lizard twist. Another really awesome option, if you have the openness in your right hamstrings coming down onto your forearms, maybe even lifting the back knee. You can also find that middle way, the middle path of least resistance, of pure presence, of hugging that right knee into the outside of your right shoulder. Staying up on your hands, allowing the heart to gently spread forward. And then of course the option of flying lizard here if you are a lover of arm balances. Stay where you are. If you're not interested in the arm balance, totally cool. If you are and you're like, what's she talking about? Your right arm is gonna hug underneath that right thigh, creating a little shelf. Bending into your chaturanga arms, floating forward, extend your legs long. Wherever we are, we'll all meet back in a lizard. Start to heel toe that right foot into center, rock the hips back, roll the right toes to the sky, finding half split. Blocks are really wonderfully helpful here. Having one on either side of your leg. Focus on rolling those right toes back toward the shin. And this magnetic pull of the right heel as if somebody were around the front of your foot and pushing that heel back so that the entire straight line of your leg was pushing into that hip socket. But you're doing that. You're doing that with your own presence and motivation. I don't want to say motivation. What do I want to say there? Intention, yes. And then we'll release just by rocking here forward and back. Let it be easy, let it be gentle, let it be cool. And as you come forward, let's heel to that right foot all the way over to the left side. So now you're kind of, especially if you have your blocks, you are really supported, but if you're down, you're kind of, I guess I just covered the block. You're kind of in this like dancer crossed over motion. And you're gonna walk your left knee over to the right. Rock your hips back. And you're gonna bend and hug that right foot. So you're coming into a low cow face with your legs. So in cow face, sometimes, let me just go ahead and say, some hips love this one, some hips don't. I sometimes can settle both hips down to the earth, and that's great. If not, grab your blanket or a block and set it underneath you. Give yourself the support you need. The further out to the sides that your feet are, the more intense this will grow into your hips. Take the hands back, reach them toward each other here. Interlacing the fingers just like we did before. If shoulders feel very open and you have tons and tons of space here, you might find your hands into a reverse namaskar. So with your hands in prayer behind your back. You could simply just bring the fingertips to the earth here as well if you would like to create more grounding space. Let the eyes close and the hips settle. Breathing in love. Breathing out love. Breathing in that space, sending it to any of those little tight spots that you feel in your physical or energetic body. And if you feel like it's available or inviting you to, maybe you take a hinge forward, allowing the body to cave in on itself. Still breathing fully and steadily. Allowing your breath to wash over you, wash through you. Let it be of you. And as you're ready to release, slowly come on up. Lean back to your hands as you untangle the legs. Little rock here, side to side. Let it be gentle and kind of lazy here. And we'll begin to make our way to downward facing dog. You can take that any way you like to travel there. And just sweep your feet around. Maybe you take a full little flow here. Maybe you jump up and over your feet. And find yourself again in this steady down dog, steady shape. Breathing in fully. Feel the broadness of your upper back. Beautiful adjustment. Feel the length of your low back as you're lifting the tailbone. And you lift the tailbone by pressing into the hands, pressing through the shoulders. Feel that broadness of your upper back and feel that expand all the way down to your tailbone, lifting higher. Full breath in. Open mouth, let it go. Left side, inhale, left leg high. And here we are as we bend the knee. Start to stack the hips here and choose your adventure of exploring here. So maybe there's lots of hip circles. Maybe you start to shift the hips forward as you come onto your side plank or wild thing. And if that wild thing is kind of like a funky free flow thing, that's totally cool too. Allow just kind of whatever is coming in here, allow it to come and move in. And then as you're ready, start to make your way on back. Three-legged dog. Nice variations, everybody. And round it forward, stepping it through. Inhale to your high crescent lunge. Sweep the hands up. Beautiful attention to your hips, Lisa. Take that big inhale. Maybe you straighten that front leg. Exhale, elbows wide. Drop and tap the back knee. Inhale up. Exhale, warrior two. Breathing as you settle in. Find that place where it feels so steady, where you can just rest in the seat of the warrior here. There's not too much energy happening in your fingertips. You're not carrying everything into your shoulders. You can just settle. And then you flip that front palm, reverse, straighten your front leg, find that length. Feel the intercostal muscles of your ribs begin to stretch. Full breath. And exhale as you cartwheel it down. Heel toeing your hands to the inside of your left foot. Setting up for your pigeon here, not pigeon, your lizard here. And all of the variations that entails. So maybe you're kind of playing with each one and exploring, or maybe you have that favorite one and you go right to it so you can fully immerse yourself in that shape. Yeah, Lisa, roll your left shoulder open a little more there. If you're reaching for the foot, think about feeling that lift open of your sternum as you lift through the low belly. And so that left shoulder can roll back a little bit more. Yes, that looks much, much better. Feels much better, I'm sure. And if you're going for the arm balance, this is your last few breaths to play. And then we will all begin to slowly, take your time if you want to play there. We'll start to make our way back into our lizard. Coming up onto our hands. Heel toeing the foot back to center. And rocking the hips back into our half split. Yes. Maybe with the blocks, maybe not. And this, again, that sort of isometric pull of really dragging the left hip back and pressing the right hip forward and the toes actively drawing back. Shine the heart forward. Still breathing. And let's slowly take that rocking. Just let it be easy. Let it feel good back and forth. And then here we are with that funky transition. Coming on to the front, heel to the right foot, the left foot over to the right. And you're gonna kind of walk that right knee over to the left and start to rock the hips back. Hugging the right foot out to your side. Finding your cow face. And again, so the blocks sometimes might be a little bit too intense. You can also grab your blanket just for a little bit of support if that's all you need. And you can take any of those same options, opening through the chest. One other option too is to take the hands and rest the palms of your hands onto the soles of your feet while still finding a lift here. This sort of brings to mind the action of giving it away to kind of keep it, this sort of, the more we love others, the more space we have to love ourselves. And vice versa, the more we are able to bring this kindness and compassion to ourselves, we are then able to shine the heart out toward others. Steady the breath, rest in this power of ease. Maybe folding it over, allowing the collapse, allowing the surrender. And slowly come up. As we start to release from this one, I want to just offer one last little playtime option. If you have headstand in your practice, this would be, a place for you to play. If you're like, I ain't going nowhere in your headstand today, you'll come on back just like we did before. If you want to try to play upside down, roll up and over the knees just as they are, and find your crown of your head to the earth. Use the toes to lift the hips. And maybe you lift the feet. Super duper cool. Nice job spotting. Awesome job. Yes, so we'll shake it out. You can take one more vinyasa here if that feels right and good and true to you. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here just to let it go, let it out. Feel your body abiding in this truth of surrender and of power here, of just being. I participated in a leadership summit this weekend, a virtual summit. You're welcome to bring the knees down, by the way, if you'd like child's pose here. And one of the interviews that I watched was with Reverend Angel Kyoto Williams. If you're familiar with them, they're a force to be reckoned with. And one of the quotes from that interview was, I'm totally going to butcher it because I didn't write it down for you. When you abide in the seat of love, then everything that you speak becomes a heart truth. Yeah. When you abide in the seat of love, then everything you speak becomes a hard truth. And it's really been sitting with me since this weekend. This idea of this combating, right? Like we feel like, yes, there is a need to stand up and fight, but there's also a need to pay attention to that loving kindness of ourselves and of others. At least for me, that is my truth right now. Maybe these words rest for you. Take one more breath, just drinking it in, settling anywhere deep in your bones. Letting all go. And we'll come up onto our knees for one more lift of the heart here. And what I love as a camel pose, like sort of more gentle variation. So you'll want your block. As you come up onto your knees, place your block at any height you like. I like to place it at the medium height, right in between my heels, so that I can actually squeeze the block, activating my legs, tucking the tailbone. So then take the hands back behind your sacrum, fingertips aiming down like you're putting them in your back pockets. Roll the shoulders open. And then feel that lift here of the Mula Bandha drawing in and up. The ribs don't flare open, they stay drawn in and down so that just the heart begins to lift. Maybe you lift the gaze. And if that support feels like it can take you a little further, then let it take you further. But if it wants to stay right here, then that's a perfect place to stay. If you do decide to drop one or both hands to your block, I like to drop one and lift one hand toward the sky. Last breath here. Gorgeous, come on up. Both hands rest on your heart. Drop your hips down to your block. We'll take just one more round. Fully breathe in. Fully breathe out. And as you set up for your second round, if you kind of want to take another, like your variation, one that you're very used to playing with, please feel free. For this one, we'll take the other arm up if you took that option. So hands toward your sacrum, fingertips down, lifting through the heart. And then maybe one or both hands down, lifting the other hand. Breathing in as you release, both hands to your heart, hips, lowering down. Bow your chin to your chest, honoring your truth, your space, your love, your earth, your support. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. From here, letting yourself gently come onto the mat, all the way down onto your back. You'll want to bring your blanket with you, just in case you like to have it underneath your knees during Shavasana. We're not going there quite yet, but we will soon, so you can go ahead and lay your blanket there if you like. Coming down onto your back, hug your knees to your chest and kind of resist that urge to rock here. Just allow the body to be and allow the spine to know stillness. As we move forth in this urge of the charge to love more than we fight. We can always come back to the place of stillness where only truth lies. Hug your left knee into your chest and extend the right foot up to the sky. Open your eyes and point and flex and roll that foot around the ankle, getting into it. Going in both directions. Maybe you can really press that heel away. Maybe bend into the right knee and then press the heel away like you have a force above you that you're trying to keep away. And then slowly, with control, let the heel reach long, and until the heel meets the floor, keep the breath steady. Draw the left knee across the body into a twist. Expanding your left arm out. Maybe the gaze shifts over in the left direction. Maybe it stays up toward the sky. Breathe in, feel the length along your left hip. Let yourself rest here into this twist and the spiraling open of yourself. And when you're ready, begin to recenter yourself. Hug the knees in. And as you start to switch sides, hug the right knee in, extend the left leg up to the sky. Pointing and flexing into your foot, roll the ankle around and allow the sense of length to just stream down the back of your leg. And then as you are sort of pushing into a big soft pillow, bending into your right knee, your left knee, pressing the heel away a few times. Just noticing what you notice here. And when you're ready, let that left heel reach away from you and lower all the way down to the earth. Find your twist. Breathing in fully. This idea of loving kindness, it's so much more than gestures and gifts. It's the recognition of our small moments as opportunities for greatness. That smile at a stranger, helping to hold the door open, giving up your seat on the bus. As you start to unwind here, allow the body to move into whatever shape it feels ready for, expectant of, in need of. Maybe that's happy baby, restorative bridge, or yeah, waterfall. Kelly, that's awesome. Good option. Just readying yourself for Shavasana in your favorite way. Knowing that we cannot give the world what we do not manifest within. So hold your kindness close and let go of your fears. Let it be known of deep within that you are of great value. You are needed, you are kind, and you are love. Resting yourself deeply in that seat of love. As you begin settling into Shavasana, letting yourself gather and rest in the words of loving kindness as its own affirmation and meditation. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I be free from suffering. May I be loved. Letting the body rest bit by bit, softening the eyes into their sockets, and the front of your chest spreads and softens. All the way down the length of your arms. Begin to bring into mind someone who loves you, maybe a family member, or even a mentor or a teacher. Imagine that person radiating their love to you, wishing that you be healthy, safe, loved, and free from suffering. Breathe in deeply and accept these feelings. Allow them to settle deep in your bones. Big exhale, let it go. Next, begin to bring into mind someone with whom you may have difficulty. Could be a coworker or perhaps a friend that there may be some troubled waters currently. Send them the same blessings that you receive. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be loved, and may you be free from suffering. Allow the person to accept that love. Big inhale. Big exhale. Next, begin to expand these blessings to all beings everywhere. Just as I wish to be, may all beings be healthy, safe, and free from harm. Just as I wish to be, may all beings be loved. Concentrate on the feelings of warmth and softness generated here as you send it out. When we abide in the seat of love, everything, every word that we speak becomes a heart truth. If you would like to spend the last few minutes of your practice in a seated meditation, well, you know this is that time. Still have about 5 minutes. If you want to stay, please feel free to stay resting. Bring yourself into a seat whenever you're ready. And I'll let you know. As you begin to deepen your breath, begin to gather your awareness back into this present moment. You might find your hands sliding up and down your legs, feeling this physical touch. Or if you're still lying down, perhaps taking the hands as you cross them over your body, wrapping toward the shoulders. And then even as we sit, making our way into a seat if we've stayed in Shavasana, come all the way up and let the hands wrap yourself up in love. Take a deep breath in. Let out a big open outside. Gather the hands together in front of your heart as you bow your chin to your chest. Taking note of how compassion and empathy begin to show up in all areas of our lives. As we step off the mat, we can keep these words close to our heart. May all beings everywhere be happy, healthy, and free from harm. May all beings be loved. Thank you so much for practicing with me. See you next time.